Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The media sometimes reports certain events in such a way as to portray someone as being the guy who won the debate and the other one who lost it. Where actually, if you were to listen to the debate, you might have a different take on the issue, which is maybe it was undecided, maybe you think actually the other guy won. In this case, we have a journalist. That's how they call themselves. I don't think this guy is a journalist, but nevertheless, he asked the president, newly elected president again of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, a question. Obviously, telling him, being a election denier. So this NBC News Keir Simons, he's an election denier. He doesn't believe that the Russian elections were free and fair. That makes you a denier in America if you would dare to say that about. Okay? But hey, double standard, triple standard, quadruple standard, all the way. So this guy is going to challenge Putin. This imbecile, not imbecile, he's a weasel. I think he works for some agencies, but nevertheless, or agency at least. He interviewed Vladimir Putin a few years ago. And watch that interview. Maybe he's gonna just give you a little flavor of who this guy really is. Now, when you ask a question, you can be a see you next Tuesday guy about it, or you can be, pushing it harder, intellectually. You don't have to, as an employee of a media outlet, not very trustworthy, discuss with a leader of a country with nuclear weapons, and you try to disrespect him. Like many journalists spoke like that with the former president of Iran, Ahmadinejad, basically with whomever they think that person, the orders must be followed. So this guy asks Putin, is this what you call democracy? At a news conference. And Putin, obviously this is portrayed as, yay, the guy has balls, like that imbecile Jim Acosta, whatever his name, Jim, that imbecile that was challenging Trump. Now that was garbage. I mean, you can push someone, with questions, but not as like, see you next Tuesday. You know what I mean when I say that, right? Yeah. So again, this guy is hailed as a courageous guy. The problem is Putin smacks him. Why? Because there's evidence. And these guys, when they don't expect the other side to know evidence, to have evidence to say, what are you talking about? You've done it 50 times more than you claim we did it. Zip it. A clear example was, what was the latest? For instance, one of them is Dr. Jay Shankar of India smacked a journalist about importing Russian oil and said, what are you talking about? And Europe buys in one day what we buy in a whole year. Fuck off. And not only that, there's many others. You have to know the history, and then you smack them, and then they shut up. The problem is Putin is independent, and Dr. Jay Shankar of India, foreign minister, is independent, intelligent, and ballsy. Other countries cannot answer that way, even though they have the answer ready to smack the weasel. So let me show you. Here it is. Is this what you call democracy? And quote, journalist, you're not a journalist. You're a guy with a mission, an assignment. But that's your case, assignment, you go and do it. Questions Putin about opposition crackdown after he wins election. NBC News Keir Simons. That's very suspect to me, and this is the guy right here. I couldn't find what I thought I would find, but it doesn't disqualify him, because certain things you're gonna find out later that people converted and hid and changed names. All right, so this is the weasel. Go and check him out. Questioned Vladimir Putin about his crackdown, not alleged, his crackdown on opposition after the leader was predictably claimed the landslide winner of presidential election, which has widely been condemned as neither free nor fair. No, it was not widely. It was condemned in a few vassal states of Al Capone. The rest of the world, I didn't hear being condemning that whatsoever. Remember, Keir and this guy who wrote this article, who the fuck that is, don't have a name or a face, maybe at the end of the article. They think that the world revolves around Al Capone and its vassal states, which is, there are about 30 on this planet. Okay, European Union and NATO, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, and Japan. That's about it. And you have Palau, Kapalau, Mamalau, Papalau. All right, that's all they got. So this is the world widely. No, widely here by your button. No, but the rest of the world, I didn't hear Zimbabwe saying anything bad about it. Or I don't know, Mozambique. I don't know, maybe even Brazil. Or maybe, I don't know, Taiwan. Not even Taiwan. Vietnam. Did you hear them criticizing it? No. It's just 1, 2, 3 countries. And it's mainly one. And from there, dissipates to the 30. So again, this is journalism for you in the free world. Widely being condemned, and I'm quoting this weasel, and he's going to talk about his fellow, not the journalist, Evan Gershkovich, who is Jewish. Well, nothing wrong with that. He is over there. He was caught red-handed, according to the Russians. Handling some confidential, top-secret papers. Okay, but hey, they made it up like others, right? No. Mr. President, I'm quoting, journalist Evan Gershkovich spent this election in prison. Boris Nadezhdin, who opposes your war in Ukraine, wasn't allowed to stand against you. By whom? And Alexei Navalny died in one of your prisons during your campaign. Mr. President, is this what you call democracy? So he used an American guy who was charged with espionage. This guy right here, Boris, go and check why Boris was disqualified. Okay, go and check it. But since you don't know, you think, oh, it's another name. And then Alexei Navalny, who died in Russia's prisons because he was a convicted criminal. Wasn't he? Wasn't he? Putin killed him? What's the evidence? You know. Well, I think you did. You committed that crime. No, I didn't. What's your evidence? You know. Justice should not work in that Levant kind of way. So, the network's chief international, this is the chief international correspondent, this guy. All right? Handsome, therefore he's going to be liked by some. All right, let's move on. Speaking about the prominent opposition leader, how prominent was he? Can you tell me how do you become prominent? Are you prominent by the percentages that you earned from your population or by the media of your opponents pushing you up, by the commercials? So how many percentages did Navalny have in the elections or any elections? I tell you, about 20-some% in Moscow mayorship elections. Not Russia, 145 million people. No, Moscow, right? 11 or 14 or 13, however you want to look at it, million, which is good, great. Yeah, okay. So how come he's the opposition? Well, these guys who, again, had their button, had their thing on this guy, made him, he's the main opposition. If that's your opposition, and by the way, you can't have an opposition in Russia, we've been told all the time. How come this guy can ask Putin this kind of question and he was not immediately, as we're told it happens in Russia? All right, let's move on. So again, preeminent opposition leader, in his response, Putin said, and I'm quoting, "As for Mr. Navalny, he has perished. This is always a sad event. Well, we have had other instances when people died in prison. He has nothing like that ever happened in the US. It has happened, and not once." So there you have it. He smacked the correspondent, international correspondent, chief right here, saying, well, we have Epstein and many others have examples. We have Trump right now, followed by these guys with the law, because Trump is a... Okay? So again, did not expect a smackdown. By the way, and I'm quoting, by the way, this will be unexpected, but several days before Mr. Navalny perished, I was told by some of my colleagues and the administration employees, some people, that there is an idea to exchange Mr. Navalny for some people in prison in Western countries. Right? So, what's going on? Why don't you clean your own backyard first, and then you come and tell me to clean mine? All right? And besides, history, evidence, facts are there. The problem is you have to know them and you have the balls to say it. And Putin, I think, has them both here. And that guy is like, zip it, zip it. Now, you might not agree with Putin. You might agree with the other side, which is fine. But if you want to make a little intellectual exercise, put yourself in the bad guy's shoes, in this case Putin, right? And think about this. Did he say anything that was not true? And you can say, well, two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah, but you're the one who cast the stone or the rock towards me. What am I supposed to do? Just forget that you stay on the mountain of garbage and you point out to me that I'm doing possibly something that you did many, many, many times? I mean, please. It's like you have a notorious, how should I put it, serial criminal telling you that you, I think you just violated the speed limit ordinance, okay? We can't have that. What would you say? Okay, sorry, what am I supposed to do? I have to pay the fee, maybe I go and get a course, take a class in driving and all that, and we move on? Or you would say, well, how about we start first with you, and then we move into me in a chronological way, okay? Wouldn't you think that would be the right way? If you want something easier, take your neighbor. Let's say the neighbor kept doing a lot of stuff, damaging your, grapes, destroying your fence, destroying your grass, and then he comes and tells you that your music is too loud at 9:50 p.m. What would you say? Oh yeah, excuse me, let's talk about the music. My music is too loud. I apologize. We will say, fuck you. A, B, C, D, infinity. How about that one? Huh? How about we talk about those things and then we can move to this situation? Wouldn't you do that? Or are you just going to be a pussy saying, yeah, my bad, click, sorry. You can't do that. I wouldn't. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.